Okay, another question that comes up a lot, especially for us here at Dell EMC, because we have a couple of different choices that our customers can choose here, is this whole idea of, do I run my SD-WAN on a dedicated appliance, or do I run my SD-WAN on what we call a CPE, or customer premise equipment? So maybe, Greg, let's talk about what we mean by appliance when it comes to SD-WAN.
Yeah, appliance really when it comes to SD-WAN is, you've got, a piece of hardware here, right? The underlying foundation is a x86 architecture, right? Yep. And you're going to run SD-WAN on top of it. And the benefits of this here is right out of the factory, it's already preloaded and it comes loaded, which is what a lot of customers really want for some of those remote branches, is they want a solution that when it ships out of the hub, it's all completely ready to go.
Yep, and clearly calling out, just to reemphasize, we're talking about x86. We're talking about standard-based hardware, nothing specialized. This isn't some bespoke, customized, proprietary piece of hardware.
Absolutely not, right?
Okay, well, when we talk about CPE, a lot of the same building blocks that we have here. So I'm still running x86 as my foundation, but then above that, I've got some sort of hypervisor. And within a VM on that hypervisor, I have SD-WAN. So virtualization's been around for a long time. It's been running on x86 for a long time. So the key question about, for our customers is like, why would I choose this one over this one? Now, certainly, by not running bare metal, I've got hypervisor on here. There's a bit of a performance tax, and I need some extra resources on that box. But really what this comes down to is, what else might I want to run on this hardware in this branch office where most of these things are going to be deployed? And SD-WAN, while it is a very important network function that runs in a lot of these branch offices, is not the only network function that runs in some of these branch offices. So there might be a few others that you can bring off the top of your head that might still work.
I think the Dell example is perfect. So, recently, Dell went through a major acquisition of a company called EMC. You may have heard of it. And in doing so, right, they were presented with a problem, which is they had a lot of overlapping buildings in the same areas, and they needed to do some consolidation. One of the other problems they had was they had a ton of circuits that were just all over the globe, right, and that represented a significant spend. And so one of the things that they were looking at during this consolidation was to try to see if they could move to SD-WAN to reap some of the benefits that we've talked about in some of the previous videos that we've done here. But one of the things that is an overarching idea in Dell IT is trust but verify. And so in their implementation of SD-WAN, they said, we really want to go with this SD-WAN architecture here with the hypervisor because we want to put NETSCOUT on here as well. Right. So the SD-WAN, Dell Cloud Service, is going to give us all this information back about how well things are performing and stuff, but we want to put NETSCOUT on there because we want to have a secondary validation, which is a great use case. And in fact, it ended up working brilliantly for Dell IT. A lot of customers are also talking about putting branch compute and being able to move applications to that edge as well. This is another brilliant use case. One of the use cases I heard was, you have like a ski resort, right? And you want to buy your ski tickets online at home, but when you get to the mountain, you want to be able to print those out and take advantage of them. Yeah. Well, in that sense, right, they have compute at the mountain and they have compute, up in the cloud, so that even if they lose connectivity at the top of the mountain, they can still do all that stuff. And that's a great use case for that.
Yeah, another one that comes to top of mind as well is we've been talking to a retailer. And they have a need for SD-WAN in each one of their retail locations, but they also run a ton of other apps, point-of-sale applications and so forth that need to run in those stores. And so it's like, well, hey, I've got x86 resources, all these other things run as VMs. This is the approach that I want to take. So at the end of the day, folks, I think you understand the SD-WAN application is not changing between these two. All the benefits we've talked about in terms of our approach to SD-WAN are exactly the same. It's really about what our customers want to go do with the infrastructure at these branch sites. Is it only going to be SD-WAN? Then this is the way to go. It's going to be optimized and set up and tuned for that. If you need a little headroom for some additional network functions or maybe some other applications that might be running at VMs, CPE is an option there. And the great story that we have at Dell EMC here is we give you the choice of both of these.
And it falls right in line with exactly what all the different analysts out there have been saying. And analysts have been saying that the adoption of SD-WAN is going to start here in the appliance space, but in the course of the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to see a lot more people adopting, this sort of x86 architecture where they can put more applications on that single piece. So You can do hybrid, you can do both. That's a brilliant thing about going with Dell is that you can do this in some of your branches and you can do this in some of the others, and you don't have to make a choice.
Exactly. Great. Well, hey, hope you found that useful on this whole topic of appliance versus CPE.